J.M. Another story from the memoirs of Sherlock Holmes. Chapter 5. The Professor's Offer. Very well, when I expressed my desire to discuss my enrollment at Oxford with my parents, to my surprise, the professor readily granted permission. This marked my third visit to the professor's office, which had transformed from an initially novel university research space to a familiar setting. Despite the changing seasons, the room remained unchanged, filled to the brim with books. However, in this season when snow began to fall, I couldn't help but feel dismayed by the absence of a fireplace or stove. I was slightly resentful that the meeting couldn't be held in a more social setting. The owner of the room, however, showed no signs of being bothered by the cold. I had thought that if not consulting with my parents was a prerequisite for enrollment, I would have to decline the offer. Therefore, I was relieved when permission was easily granted. Upon reflection, no university would impose such a strange condition for admitting a student. Before we proceed, I wanted to ascertain your aptitude, the professor said, anticipating the other party's thoughts. It was the professor's habit to speak while foreseeing the other's heart. While it made the speaker's job easier by avoiding verbose explanations, the precision of his words was somewhat unsettling. Aptitude? For serving as my assistant. I see. The two previous interviews had been nothing but dialogues resembling philosophical debates with the professor. They were a kind of test. Does this mean I passed the test? Yes, the professor nodded readily. And what about you? You will be working as my assistant alongside your university studies. It will be a busier life than that of a regular student. Are you prepared for that? I had no objections. When we first met, I felt as though my beliefs were being denied, and I harbored resentment towards the professor. However, through the two interviews, I began to understand what he was trying to do. The professor deliberately sought to shatter the ideologies and beliefs I had held until then. One cannot progress if clinging to antiquated ideas. If one wishes to learn something new, one must rid themselves of conventional wisdom and fixed ideas. That was the message the professor wanted to convey. His initial mention of God was not to test or destroy my faith. Even if the development of science and civilization brings new discoveries to humanity, it does not change people's faith. God in philosophy is one thing and God as the object of faith is another. Regardless of the professor's personal beliefs, understanding this implicit message made our exchanges enjoyable. Truth be told, I had been looking forward to talking with the professor today as well. Serving as his assistant will undoubtedly enlighten me. And above all, becoming the professor's assistant means that my relationship with Cheryl will continue in the future. Yes, I'll accept your offer, I replied. However, the professor said without waiting for my words finished. When discussing your enrollment at Oxford with your parents, would prefer if my name remained undisclosed. Why? I swallowed the words that were on the tip of my tongue. There must be some deep reason behind this. I can't go into details, the professor said somehow apologetically. But I once received help from your father. I've come all this way without being able to repay that. This recommendation for your enrollment is a token of my gratitude, at least to your father. However, I don't want to do anything that would make it seem like I'm imposing a favor on you.